Okay, right. I hope you all have your needle and thread ready, and you also have your stuffing with you. Just to introduce you a little bit to the materials that you have in your kit, you will have two sets of skin fabric, yeah, in two different colors, a lighter one and a darker one. Please feel free to choose any one set today. We will make one doll over the 2 days now, over the weekend. Today and tomorrow together, we will try and complete one doll. But you also have material to make another doll by yourself as practice. Okay? So for today, tomorrow, just choose any one set of skin fabric. You should have one long tube and four squares, two big squares and two small squares. Are you able to?
Ma'am, I'm so
Yes,
sorry,
Nonita.
sister, but like I don't know how to like the screen that you show me for Sowmya, it's small here for me. Like
Oh, is it?
yeah.
How about the others?
It's small, but you can pin her. So on your
Yeah.
own name, if you see those three little dots, if you press on it, you'll get an option of pinning Soumya's screen on Soumya's screen.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have
Soumya.
actually pinned it for everyone, but I'm wondering why you're not able to see that as the big thing.
Oh yes, just now I can see,
You
ma'am.
can? Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, if you have your skin fabric ready, have you chosen which one you want to start with? Yeah. And even the cloth, you can choose which one you want to take now. You will have two different colors. So I have given you all a soft cotton flannel fabric, and I've given you another kind of cotton. And this is actually by a brand called Tula, Tula. They make indigenous organic cotton, which is hand dyed, hand woven, hand dyed with natural dyes, hand spun, and it's really wonderful to work with. So I have given you one of the indigenous organic naturally dyed cotton fabric, and I've given you one flannel fabric. So choose whichever one, it does not make a difference. Just for your experience of handling different fabrics, I've sent you two different samples. But for the workshop, you can choose which one you want. And I hope
Soumya,
you, yeah.
what's going to be the size of the thread for the white thread?
Just about arm's length, but double. So if you see this, I've just doubled it up and I've knotted it. I've taken a really long one, but you can take about your, from your tip of your fingers to your elbow, but doubled. Yeah. So you
Thank
can
you.
do that and keep it ready. And just let me know when all of you are ready with that. We're going to start with the tube. Okay, whichever skin fabric that you've taken, please get the tube out and we're going to start making the head with this tube.
Soumya, just to ask you again, because
Yeah,
you said double. Double means two, like
wait,
I have to
let me just show you here again.
four
So
strands or two strands.
just two strands. Can you see
Yes.
now on my
Yeah,
screen? Yeah,
yeah.
just two strands. You can take it to whatever length you are comfortable with sewing. See, what happens with hand sewing is if it's too long, sometimes it gets knotted up midway. So we
Mhm.
just don't want that, chikna to happen. So we just like keep it at an arm's length,
Okay.
4 arms length. Yeah. And you also keep your pen or pencil ready, which we will need now, and your ruler as well. Anything to measure, if you have a tape, if you have a scale, whatever you have, or even if you don't have either of these, it's okay. I can just roughly tell you with your finger measurement what to do. But just keep these ready and either give me a thumbs up or you can just tell me that you're ready.
Somewhere that the fabric that I have, the tube,
Yeah.
is slightly unraveled on one side. The stitching has started coming off a little bit.
Show me which one. Can I just see?
One second. This one. So it's coming off here.
Okay. So suppose this is your unravel side. Keep that on top.
The unraveled side on top.
Yeah, the unravel side on top. Okay. And I want you to just feel the fabric. Do you feel what material can this be?
Stocking material?
Um,
No.
I mean, what fiber?
Hmm.
This is cotton.
Yes, it's cotton with a little bit of elastine, which gives its elasticity. Yeah.
Okay.
So you get this kind of, stocking t-shirt material even in synthetic, but it would be advisable to use cotton because it's more breathable for the doll skin. Okay, now I want you to just explore stretching this. So stretch it both ways. Stretch it like this along the length, the height, I mean, and turn it around and stretch it. And tell me, where do you feel the stretch more? Do you feel the stretch more longitudinally like this, or do you feel it like this more? Which way is it stretching more?
Right. The way you're holding it, it stretches more.
Yeah, can you all feel that? Donita, can you also feel that? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That is important to basically when you're making the head of a doll, you want the stretch to be maximum here for the face. Okay, so you see where these vertical lines are, and along those lines is where we are going to make the head. We will not do it like this because it won't stretch. Once you put the stuffing in, you will see as we go. So whenever you have even if this gets over and you want to make your own and you get this kind of material and you're going to stitch a tube by yourself, always make sure that these vertical lines here are along the side of where you're going to stuff the head in. Yeah,
Okay.
place it along the vertical lines. Don't keep it like this and stitch the tube like that is what I'm saying.
Mm.
All right. So now to make again, there are different ways and techniques of making a doll's head, depending on the size of the doll you're making, depending on the features that you want to bring in. What I have done in this whole kit that I've designed and put together is use different techniques from different styles of doll making and just given you an experience of little bit of everything. So we are going to make the tube by stitching. um, we're going to basically stitch the top part together and make it gather like this, and then we're going to turn the tube inside out. Okay, so firstly I want you to mark with your pen or pencil a horizontal line along the tube with a gap of about 1.5 centimeters from the top. So if you see, I've kept the measuring tape here. Even 2 centimeters is okay, but I'm taking 1.5. So just to show you, okay, this pen is not working. 1.5 centimeters from the top, I'm marking a horizontal line like this, which goes all around the tube. Yeah, it has to be continuous. Once you've done this, you take out your needle. And do you all know how to make simple running stitch, which is just taking the needle in and out and in and out and in and out? I'm going to show you. You can watch me and then you can do. But the important thing here is you should not stitch the two layers together. You should go all around this line that you've drawn. Okay, just in out stitches all around and end here, but do not knot it. Don't make any knot. When you come here, just wait for me to tell you what to do. Let me start over here. So I'm starting here where the stitch is of the tube. Okay, I'm just taking a small in-out stitch like this. Then again, I'm going in along the line and coming out. All these instructions are also there in your instruction booklet. So don't worry about trying to remember. You will remember. And you'll have material to refer to later. Okay, see, I'm just doing a simple in-out running stitch, not with too much of a gap, but also making sure that I don't stitch the two layers together. I'm at the end of the other side. Basically, I'm just taking the needle back to the front and I'm coming out. Once you've done this, please let me know. Remember to not stitch the two layers together. Okay, so once you're in this stage, you need to just pull the thread like this until it gathers on top. Okay, once it gathers, just watch carefully what I'm doing. I'm going around this whole gathering, maybe 2 to 3 times. I've just done it thrice just to tie it in place. Okay, and then I take the needle and I'm going to basically take the needle in and out through the gathering twice to secure it in place. One more time. And you finish it off by tying a knot. So first step was to pull the thread so that it gathers and then wind it around the gathering 3 times and take the needle just in and out and tie a knot. If you don't know how to tie a knot, you can watch me again. So just take your needle in and out through the fabric just a little bit. Don't pull out the needle fully. When it's halfway through up like this, take your thread. This is how you finish your sewing work. Again, wind around the needle thrice and pull it out and you can cut your thread. So we want a gathered top and we want the tube like this. Sorry. So an alternate way is, instead of all the stitching, is just to take a thick string and tie a knot, right? But sometimes tie a really tight knot and maybe tie 2, 3 knots like that. But sometimes what happens when you do that is when you turn it inside out, somewhere it dislodges that knot. So I prefer stitching it like this. It is more sturdy and it keeps it in place. If you've done this, please go ahead and turn the tube inside out.
We cut the thread, right?
Yeah, yeah. Once you've knotted it up, you can cut the thread and turn the tube inside out. And if you see this, if you made it on a much more narrower tube, and if you just tie a knot over here, this can also easily become a little finger puppet. And you can just draw two eyes and a face, or you can make a little hat. So you can make a little finger puppet like this just with a tube. Yeah. Okay,
Mm.
now comes a very interesting part, which is stuffing the head. You will be amazed at how much a doll's head, even though very little, can hold inside. Just like how our heads can hold so much inside. So you have mainly been sent a cotton stuffing, which is called kapok fiber, Kapok. So, but one warning before you open it is to, if you have fan right next to you or right above your head, please lower it or switch it off for just 2 minutes, because this fiber is very silky and soft and very fibrous. It can fly over like snowflakes, and if it
Mafi,
goes
dyan kami sa pila. Ay, Bernardo.
and if it goes into your nose, you can start sneezing. It happens to me. So I'm basically careful when I'm using this kapok fiber. But this is 100% natural. So you have, again, typically Waldorf dolls made in the West mostly use pure wool as a stuffing because it's more easily available there. And wool is wonderful in its property to make dolls because it is warm, and it also retains the smell in a way, and it's very malleable to work with. So you can fluff the wool easily, you can sculpt it the way you want, and it's used mostly in most of the dolls there. I have sent you a sample of Indian sheep wool. So that is separately there in your box. Again, for you to, yes, like Tara is doing, you can smell it, you can, play with it with your fingers, you can open it out. I'll show you how. So that's mostly in a form of a strand, which is how I got it over here. But if we want to use it for stuffing, we need to card this wool. So carding usually is done with a tool, but with just your fingers, if you can just open your fibers out like this, it has to really be fluffed out like cotton. You should not see any strands. Once it's in a very fluffy cloud-like state, then you can use it for stuffing. But you can also use the cotton that I've given you in the other bag, right? So start stuffing your head, but please remember, I have mentioned this on your instruction booklet as well. The size is very, very, very important. Now, these days, a trend that I see, which is not very pleasing to the eye, especially when you understand and work with child development, is that most of the handmade dolls' heads are very large, especially disproportionate to the rest of the body. And that is not a very pleasant thing to give to children because whatever it is that they see through all their senses gets absorbed in their whole body. So that's why we call children below 7. We see them as whole sensory beings. So everything that they relate to in the world, that they meet in the world, they meet it with all of their senses, not just with their eyes. You see how a child moves, their whole body when they see things, or when they're hungry, what happens to their limbs, right? So even when they play with items, what is happening to their movement, to their breathing, to their imagery, to their expression, these are all very interesting things to observe. So what we are going to do is now um, stick to a certain proportion, which is once you stuff the head. So I'm going to start with this woolen fiber, basically. I've really fluffed it out well. The firmness and the size. So once you stuff it, it should be really firm, almost like a lemon. And I would like each of you to show me on video once you have stuffed your doll when you press it on the side, when you hold it like this and when you press it on the side, if you can see, mine is going inside, right? So that means it's not enough. So I need to stuff a lot more. You'll be very surprised how much it takes. Use the tip of your fingers to shove it in and stuff a lot more. And also please use your scale or your measuring tape to see that whenever you finish it, the diameter here should not be more than 1.25 inches. Okay, which is from the crown to the chin. So it should not be more than, say, 1.25 to 1.5 inches is good. And another thing that you need to do actually before we complete the head is you have in your box, I've given you a card with some threads on it. Can you see that? A thread card. So there'll be a pouch, a smaller pouch in your box. So if you see the pouch, you will find a thread card. Yeah. Now in your thread card, you will find a beige color string, which is, yeah. Tara, can you hold that up, please? Yes, that is the thread card. You will find a beige color string. So please take that string out first and cut it to your, forearm's length, like from the tip of your fingers to your elbow. Just cut it to that length and keep it ready because we will need that to tie the head around the neck.
Soumya, the other cotton filling that we have,
Yeah.
that is where we are going to fluff out and then place it
No,
inside.
no, no, no. The wool one is what we're going to. The stuffing which is in the bag is not to be that can be used directly because it's already very soft and fibrous. But the woolen one is what you're going to like really take out with your hands like this and fluff it out and then do it.
Cotton stuffing
So
is so
I
soft.
start to
Yeah.
use one in the pouch.
Yeah, ma'am.
Is that okay?
Ma'am, for the inches for the head, is it going to be 1.5? I cannot hear.
Yeah, neither can I. Soumya, you're
Oh,
on
I'm
mute.
sorry. Sorry. Can you hear me now? I don't know how that happened. Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. So before you do that, Donita, if you just watch my video, are you able to see my video now?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you see, I'm really pinching it hard here, right? Now, if
Mm.
I press it on the side, it's not going in. It has to be so strong and firm. So make
Okay.
sure that you put as much as you can till it becomes really firm. And then you pinch it here at the neck and then you measure. Then it has to be 1.5 inches, not more than that. It can be 1.25 also, but 1.5 is also good.
Soumya, I've used the stuffing from the pouch. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. You can use either. But you will have to use a lot for that also. Yeah. Nishta, I can see you taking gently like a few pinches here and there. You need
Hmm.
a lot more.
No, I already put quite a bit, I
Oh,
feel
you
like.
did. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so just one favor I would ask of each of you is to hold um the doll like this with the pinch here and press it and show me because otherwise it's
Can you see?
yeah, I can see. Do you feel that it's firm, Nishta?
It's firm, but I can still press it.
Huh. Yeah, it'll be a little bit moldable, but it should um can be a little more firm, I feel.
Okay.
Donita, can you press it and show me, please? Donita, you need to stuff a lot more because it's
Okay.
going in. When you press, it's like going in. It should not go in like that.
Yes.
Yeah, like you should feel really satisfied that you really stuffed it firmly. This is the most important step.
Soumya, better now?
Yes, much better. I think you're good. Just measure it and see.
Yeah, it's 1.5 inches.
Yeah, perfect. That's good. And if you also have your string ready, you can cut out this thick string that I've given you. This is basically a kind of crochet thread only. You can easily get it in any shop if you ask for crochet thread. Not don't get wool, which is yarn, which will be thicker.
Is
Even
this a mercerized cotton thread?
yeah, it is mercerized cotton crochet thread. Yes. Or if any kind of thick string or twine that you have will be good for this.
Mhm.
Before you tie again, make sure, see, I haven't let go of my, finger. Like I'm really holding it firmly. Donita, yeah. Is it better, Donita, now? Are you able to feel that it's firm? Okay, you're on mute. Let me just unmute. And Donita, just measure the from the crown of the head to the chin, please, and just see that it's 1.5 inches.
Can I measure with this?
Yeah, yeah, anything, tape or scale
One
or
point 1.5, right, ma'am?
yes. A little less than that is fine, but not more than that.
Soumya, can you just check?
I can. It's still going in, isn't it? Why don't you it also looks more long to me. So we want a spherical shape, like a sphere, like a round, nice round ball. We don't want it long. So try and press it down to make sure that you get that shape.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you hold it and maybe it'll be firmer then.
Ma'am, it should be inch, right?
Yes,
1.5.
1.5 inches, correct. And then you take the string over here, right, without letting go of this head, because after you tie, the measurement of the head should not change. It should still remain. So I'm still holding it tight and close. You take the string and you're going to basically tie it. So how I do it is I really closely tie around, 2-3 rounds, and then I make a knot at the back, and then I make another round. Again, after tying the knot, please measure and see that you haven't crossed 1.5 inches. That's important. So if you look at mine, it's exactly 1.5 inches from the crown to where I have tied the string.
Soumya?
Yeah,
This is looking like it's looking round to me now.
yes, yes, it is. And it's looking much firmer also. Yes, you can go ahead. Just see, check the size again and you can tie.
Ma'am, look for mine also.
Yes, yes, nice. Have you tied already, Donita?
Yeah.
Very nice. So the test again here is it if it's really firm is when you hold it. Let me just show you. Add pin. Okay. When I hold it here below where I have tied, the head will not flop over like this, which means I've really tied it well and firm. Like it should look upright. Yeah, just hold that and check. Okay, once this is done, you can go ahead and cut the string. And we are now going to work with the squares that you have of the skin color. So please take the two slightly larger squares, which are 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters measurement. Yeah, slightly larger squares. And have you also cut out the circle which was named hand on your template? Yeah, take
Yeah.
that circle as well. I don't have the circle with me, so what I'm going to do is draw it freehand. So what I want you to basically do is place the circle right in the middle of each of your squares and trace it out. So it should be something like this, what I've done. So
Soumya,
these are the two, yes, sorry.
could I ask you to, before we move on, could I just ask you to just show the flopping one more time?
Here. Okay,
Ah,
one second.
thank you.
No problem. Okay, see, I'm holding it here below the knot basically, and it's staying upright.
Mm.
Okay, hold it. Yeah, so there you got it. Don't worry
Got it.
about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sumit, do we keep it lengthwise again? I mean, it should stretch
Yeah, sorry.
horizontally,
Yes,
right?
yes, that is true. Along the length is what actually because it's a circle, it doesn't matter. Whichever way you do, it will still be a circle, right? So, and it's a circle within a square, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So we have to trace it out on
Just
both
trace
the.
out the circle on both the squares, but take the pair
Okay.
of the slightly larger squares. You have two pairs of squares.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
is,
yeah.
yeah. So you should have
Okay.
it like this by the end and keep your needle and thread ready again. Right. We are again going to use the same running stitch and stitch all around the circle, and we're going to pull it for it to gather. So I'm starting again. Keep the stitches small. Okay, there's a knot in my thread, so I'm going to cut my thread and restart. So if you see, I have finished my circle of running stitches and I'm going to pull it for it to gather. But if you see where my thumb is pressing here in the middle of the circle, right? Just so place your thumb here in the middle of the circle and then pull it, because I want you all to make a little bowl here in the middle. Okay, like a little cup. And into this cup, we're going to put a little bit of stuffing. So take some stuffing again. I'm using cotton now. Just roll it into a ball like this
Then
and place it in this little cup that you have just made.
before that, we're not knotting the other
No, no,
end,
no,
right?
no, you're not knotting, because every time you want to gather, you should not knot. You should just leave it at the end of the stitch and just pull it. So if you pull it enough, this whole thing will close up. Yeah, can you see this little ball over here? Okay, now watch me carefully, because once I do this step, I can't undo it and show it to you. So you see, I have pulled this up. So if you are not able to close it properly, that means you put too much stuffing inside. So just put enough so that this whole little ball closes up well. Yeah. And we have our needle, and it's actually coming from inside this potly, isn't it? From this inside this potly, I'm just going to take the needle and come outside. Okay, just going to take the thread outside like this. And remember what you did right in the beginning when we were making the head. Just the same thing. Basically, go around this gathering, one, two, to tie it in place. Just went around the gathering and take the needle in, poke it through, one, and then I'm going to tie a knot and I'm going to cut this thread. So I have made one arm, end of one arm. And we need to repeat that same thing on the other. So if you missed any step over here, I can of course do it on this second one and show you, because it's the exact same thing. So firstly, you mark the circle, the hand circle in the center of the square, the larger square, and then you're going to do a running stitch around the circle. Don't close the stitch in the end. If you finished one hand, if you can just show it to me. Yes, Donita, nice. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, nice, Nishta. Just repeat the same process on the other also, please. When you finish your running stitch around the circle, you're going to place your thumb here in the middle of the circle and you're going to pull it for it to gather. That will form a little cup-like opening. And into that opening, we are going to stuff a little ball of filling. And then you pull that opening so that it closes up. Make a little portly like this. Once it's closed enough, you take the needle from inside where the needle is to the outside. Bring it just outside. Along the stitches. And okay, here, see, there's a checkpoint here. When I'm closing the second one here, I see that the first one is looking slightly bigger than the second one, but we want both the arms to be the same. That means I have not put enough stuffing in this. So I'm just going to add a little more stuffing so the ball is more rounded. Yeah, and then
This,
wind.
this is look alright.
Yes, Tara, do the same thing on the other side. You should have two little hands here, little balls. Yes, Donita, lovely. Can you tell me why we had to do it this way with the circular template and then stitching on it? Why could not we just take the square like this, put some stuffing in, fold it, make a potly and tie it around? Why didn't we do it like that easily? And why did we have to do it like this? Can anybody guess? Because for the foot, you're actually
Mhm.
going to do that. You're going to take the smaller squares and you're going to place yarn there and you're going to fold it like a potly and you're going to tie it. Okay.
Okay.
Just for you to have an experience of both. But what is the advantage of doing it this way? Can you take a guess?
Comes out cleaner.
You can do the other one also cleaner. But yes, this also comes up cleaner. You're right. But anything else comes to your mind? No? Why did we use the template? Think of that. What did the template do to this basically? What did that circle do? What did it give you? So we stitched on the circle, isn't it? And
Mhm.
we made a cup out of that circle into which we stuffed. So when
Mm.
you have a template like that on which you're stitching, then you're sort of assured that the size will be the same for both. If you're going to only just put stuffing in on the square and make a potli, both may not look the same, isn't it? Here, the circular template, the size is the same. So your cup size will be the same. So once you finish it, they are uniform. So it is just to bring that uniformity that we've done this. But otherwise, you're most welcome to use it directly and put the stuffing inside and do. But it's been a little over an hour. So please feel free to go get a sip of water, get some tea, use the restroom. We will have a short 5-minute break and I will see you in 5 minutes. Is that good?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Once you finish the hands, or even before finishing, you're allowed to go on a break. I'll see you all in 5 minutes. So now we're going to move the head and the two hands aside and we are going to make the foot here. So as you can see, these are all just indications, right? So we start with very young children with, those palm sized pillow dolls that they call it. Sometimes they call it bunting dolls. So there are so many different names where we don't really have the shape of the legs and the arms carved out like that for very young children. And then, but you see from 3 onwards, they start asking, where are the arms? Where are the legs? So you start, you can start making and shaping those out of your dolls. So these are purely just indications. So it's not as sophisticated, but it is still good to practice making them in, skin fabric. Now, another important thing is always make sure that whatever skin color you choose is warm. I see some people making dolls with like white color, stretchy material. It's not just the material that's important, it's also the color. So we really pay attention to so many different things, making sure that the fabric is breathable, that the fabric is warm, because we're giving it to a child. And of course, children are so wonderfully gifted with imagination and they are so full of wonder for everything that even a stick or a cloth or a stone or anything can become a toy for them, right? And even plastic dolls they love very dearly because if it's given to them, very specially, they do love plastic toys as well. We have seen that, but it's not the same. When it's handmade, especially from the mother or the teacher, or the grandmother, it's very, very special. And we try, and the difference between, of course, a Barbie doll and the kind of dolls that we make is, a Barbie, I always feel, can never be a grandma. How sad is that? A Barbie will be a Barbie only, right? Of course, you have different sets of Barbie dolls. You have Dr. Barbie, you have this Barbie, you have that Barbie. But why? I mean, even when we have handmade dolls, the same doll can be a mother's, the same doll can be a baby, the same doll can be a teacher. It's so versatile. And they can play so many roles, and it gives us crafters also a big challenge and a very creative challenge at that, in that I will show you a little later towards the end some of the dolls that were made by the other participants in previous earlier workshops. You will be surprised to see how many variations they brought in just the same template. So it's very exciting to explore all those ideas. Right. So you take the smaller squares now and try and like imagine you're making a modak. So just take a little bit of stuffing here and place it in the center. And we are going to do the portly method here now. We practice the other way here for the hands, and we're going to try and do the portly way here. But for this, you will need some more string. So please take out that thick string again and cut a little piece of the thick string. I have actually some extra here. This is what I'm going to use. I think this should be enough. It is around 15 centimeters. You can take around 20 centimeters of this thick string. Yeah. Once you have the string ready, so I have placed some stuffing over here, and I'm closing the two sides diagonally first and then closing on the opposite side, and there it is. My little ball is ready. And then you take the string and you tie it. This is of course a nice shortcut to what we did for the hands, but it's always good to learn the more elaborate way and then take a shortcut if you're ready for it. So we're going to make two of these. You also have polyfill stuffing, which is basically a form of polyester synthetic stuffing, which is cheaper and more easily available, which is used in pillows and most of the soft toys. It is more washable. Cotton stuffed toys are not washable because cotton of course absorbs moisture, and but you can always wipe them from the outside with a damp cloth. You can sun dry them. There are many ways to maintain this as well.
So when there's dust on the doll's
Yeah,
face over time with wear and
yeah,
tear,
yeah.
with just a damp cloth, does it just come off?
It does. I use also this thing called lint roller. Have you heard of that? We
Yeah.
use that, right? So I use, in fact, even for my some of my crocheted mandala displays, once a month I sort of use the lint roller to wipe the dust off. So that also helps.
Yeah.
Some people I've seen just use a brush and brush the surface once in a while. So I have actually not brought enough of the thick string here. So I have doubled up the sewing thread and I'm going to tie the other foot with just this. Sometimes what I do, because I always prefer using whatever is eco-friendly and naturally available, uh, sustainable choices. I thankfully had two pillows which were not usable anymore, but the stuffing was very clean and good. So I just opened up the pillow and I used all the stuffing in that. So you can do that as well. Sometimes old soft toys also, you know, lend their inside stuffing.
Mm.
Mm. Once you have all these 5 parts ready, let me know.
Soumya, does this part of the body, the hands and the feet, also have to feel as tight and
No,
like
no,
as
no,
taut?
no. Thank you for asking, but no, they don't have to feel as tight. Like I said, it's just an indication, right? Because otherwise, the slightly older ones will ask, oh, where? See, I'll show you. I'll just share the screen and show you. Can you see in this one? Yeah, you see that I haven't really used skin for the ends of the hands and the legs, which is also fine. But there will be children who will ask, why not? Where are the hands? And somebody else may say, no, she's wearing gloves, or, the sweater is so big and they pulled it off, or they come up with their own answers as well. But if you see here, I have also made like a stitch here on the foot. Yeah, can you see that? To give that little
Mhm.
shape, to give that edge, to indicate that that is the foot. But it will be nice to add a little bit of skin on the outside. This is another kind of doll, but just to show you a sample of what you can do. Okay, in this mostly they all have, I think this also. This end is not showing, but this one does not have the skin at the end. I will show you. I'll try and get another picture and send it to you later. Okay, if you're ready with this, you can take out you can keep these aside. So for me, this whole doll making process is very meditative. So it's calming, but also it brings a lot of attention and focus to every little thing, to the energy that we put in the process. So sometimes I keep a little plant next to me and stitch a doll, like a source of life next to me. Um, if you ask, does that make a difference? I would say yes, to me it does, but to each their own. Um, and like how, if you just saw, I just placed the head on the side. But even when I'm doing that, can I do it mindfully? Because it's going to become something, right? And for a baby, I mean, for children, younger children, a doll is not a toy. It's not a doll. It's their companion, right? So you have children much older sometimes, like my nephew is 11, 12. He still has the dolls that he had when he was, 2 years old. It's like in tatters, it's a soft toy, actually, a teddy bear in tatters, but the teddy bear has a name, and the teddy bear is his best friend and sleeps next to him. And this child is very intellectually stimulated otherwise. He's in a very intellectual environment, very academic and very this and that. So every time I see him, my heart skips a beat because I feel he's a little too far ahead, for what he needs. But thankfully, there is this side of him where the childhood, the child in him is still preserved intact with all his soft toys. So like that, it's very sacred for children. And so I feel very responsible as a maker to give that respect while I'm making something. So even if a work is in progress, and for me, a lot of work is in progress, it's very frustrating sometimes. Half done incomplete things. But I'm always reminding myself, how am I storing them? Am I just putting it off somewhere, or am I storing them respectfully, especially when it comes to dolls? I'm not so mindful in a few other things. Like I'm currently making a bag, um, and I had to like fish out a basket, and I told myself, okay, I will treat this also. Otherwise, everything will be just around in this basket or that basket, or I'll be searching for it. But when I'm making a doll, always to treat it with respect, and the energy that we give into the doll makes a difference. So I don't look at it as something inanimate. I look at this whole process as something that we are giving life to, that we are breathing life to. Yeah. And that is what our children also carry, right? So sorry if that's stressing you, but basically have fun. And yeah, enjoy the process. Okay. So have you chosen which body fabric you want to take? Are you going to do it with the
Yeah,
flannel cloth or the other one, the organic cotton? Pink one. Okay, Tara is taking the organic cotton. What about Donita and Nishta?
I'm taking this one.
Yeah,
And
okay. Donita, you? Okay, you're taking that. All right. So if you see, it has already been folded. Can you see my screen also? Yeah, you can, right? So it's already been folded like this, right? In a book-like shape, isn't it? Like a rectangle, I mean. Okay. So when you're placing it down, let me take this off. Okay. When you're placing it down, basically the folded end, this is the folded end, that should be on your left side, and the open end should be on the right side. See, this is my open end. This should be on the right side, and the folded end should be on the left side. So place it down like that. I'm first going to show you how to mark the template on this fabric. Okay, make sure this is very important. Folded end on the left and the open end on the right side. Okay, we will start with the hat template. Take out the hat template that you've cut. Right. So now place the hat template here where it meets the L of the fabric. You see this L shape? So right on the folded edge. Okay. So place it like this and mark along the outer end first. You don't need to mark the other two sides because they are anyway along the edge of the fabric. So it doesn't matter. Once you've done this, remember, just see that there is a inner line also, right? That is the line on which we're going to sew. So to mark that inner line on the fabric, all I will do is just this. Just pull this a little down, take the whole curve a little backward like this, and mark an inner line. So I'm just going to like make a few dashes there. So you should get something like this. It's not very visible, I think, on the screen. Okay, so this is what we want. And you can go ahead and cut the outer line, not the inner line. Okay, go ahead and cut it on the outer line. The curve, I mean, not the line, the outer curve. And just keep it aside. All right. Now you take the body template and place it on the body fabric in such a way. I'm just trying to show you from a little far that there should be enough space around the body fabric. Like it should not be on the edge. Okay. It should not be close to the edge of the fabric here or here or here. You should have enough room around. So I'm just placing it here so there is enough space around the fabric. Just place it here. I'll tell you what to do. Before that, with the hat, before you stitch it on the inner line, I'm just going to show you again my, oh, by the way, so do you want to make like a little boy doll or a little girl doll, or do you want to not keep a gender yet and let your baby decide? I'll
I
just
would like to make a boy doll.
boy doll. Okay. What
Yeah.
about you, Tara? Boy doll. Okay. Donita, you?
Girl.
Girl. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to show you this.
Soumya, when we were cutting the hat, were we
Uh,
only supposed to cut one side of the cloth or a double cloth?
oh, double, double. How is it
I'm
one side? Because it's folded, na? So you will
Right.
anyway have a double side to it, isn't it?
So when we open it off, it comes out like this,
Yeah,
right?
but fold it again.
Okay,
Okay,
got it.
just fold it
I,
again and then you place the body template on it with enough room around.
I mean, that's the cloth that is left. So when I fold it again,
Yeah, fold it again. Yes,
yeah.
that should be enough. When you place the body there, you will still have enough room around it.
Okay,
Not,
I think I got confused looking at your cloth.
yeah, mine is probably a slightly bigger one. But
Okay.
all you need is about 1 centimeter gap all around the body, not more. Yeah. Okay.
You
So let me just show you. Um, oh, what are you seeing on your shared screen? Can you tell me?
multiple
Ah, you're
dolls.
seeing the multiple ones. Okay. Okay. For your girl doll, Donita, you can either make the hat like this. I'm just going to call it nurse hat. Yeah. I'll show you how to do this. Or you can make both boy and girl doll can have, I'm calling it gnome hat. Yeah. Either like this or like this. This is also gnome hat. So choose which one you want. I'll also show you how to make this one, the blue one, how he's wearing. So this is also the nurse hat, the orange doll. You know, this is like the nurse hat. So choose that, which is why we are not going to stitch the hat now. We're just going to leave it open. Okay. So here we are. Have you placed your, can you by any chance show me how you've placed your template on your cloth, please?
Yeah, you said only 1 centimeter margin
Yeah,
is needed, right?
yeah. But I'd still like to see how you've placed it.
Yeah, I'll just.
Open. Oh, yeah. Okay. Tara, you can, yeah, hold it a little. Yeah, that's fine, Tara. Okay. And just trace it all around, please. Yeah. Donita, you can also bring it a little down, slightly down. Yes. Not so much, Donita. To the left a little bit because the right side margin is not much. Yeah, perfect. Yes, Donita, that's fine. Just keep it there and trace it all around, please.
Is it
Okay.
fine, Soumya?
1 second, Nishta. I'm trying to make a pin you also. Um, it's a little teda, no? Your body template. Yeah, just keep it straight. Huh. And yes, left, right, top, bottom. Yes, that's fine, Nishta. Just
Oh.
try and trace it around.
Hmm.
And when you're tracing, you see on the template there are these ends to leave open, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to mark that also on your cloth. Okay.
Okay.
So however you want to mark the ends that are to be left open, please mark that. Okay, and a very important thing which actually doesn't matter to you now with the cloth that I have given you, because both sides are the same, but otherwise you will do this on the wrong side. This whole marking and stitching, you will do it on the wrong side facing. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So sometimes you have a printed fabric that you're going to make. It'll be wonderful if you make it with any of your old dupattas or kurtas or your baby's clothes only, which will all have a right side and a wrong side. So everything about measurement is all mentioned in your booklet. Okay, so how much was the rectangle of the body fabric? Um, and for the head tube, everything is there. If you have any doubts about that later on, you can always message and ask me.
I noticed, Soumya, that you have
Yeah.
all the dolls that you have are typically very small. Is it something to do with Waldorf, that the size of the dolls
No,
overall?
actually these ones which I designed for workshop for beginners are this size.
Okay, okay,
But I have bigger dolls also. It's just that I don't have enough pictures of them.
okay, okay,
So
no worries.
the baby infant doll that I showed you in my pictures, that is actually pretty big. That's like 10, 12 inches.
Okay.
You can't make out from
Okay.
the picture. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's almost a 12-inch doll.
Oh, okay.
You also have weighted dolls that some people do, which is also very nice for children's, proprioceptive sense. When they hold something with weight, it's very
Mhm.
good. They feel something there, right? So you have those kinds also. There are many, many, many ways of making these dolls. It's good to make a start.
Mhm.
Okay, so I messed up a little with my marking, but I managed to do it. This is how it should be. You see, I have marked the uh, open ends also like this. Just make a line so you know that you need to leave that open. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, I hope both the layers are folded and you've done this on the wrong side of the fabric. In your case, it really doesn't matter. Take your needle and thread again. Is anybody here not aware of back stitch? Do you know how to do a back stitch? You don't know how to do a back stitch. Okay. Do you have extra cloth on your fabric? Yeah. I'm just going to show you. First of all, are you able to see this white on this yellow, or shall I change the color? Is this good? You can see? Okay. So I'm just going to make a sample line here that you can see, which is going to be the back stitch basically. So you start as usual. You start from one end, whichever end I'm going to ask you to start over there. You start like that. This is just a practice stitch, okay? I'm going to pull the needle through like this, right? So this is the first step, just in and out. Now you go in from the back and come out through the front. Can you see that? But it's very small. These are really small. So you're trying to actually imitate a sort of machine stitch here. And you're going to make it quite close knit. See, this is the gap. Can you see that? Now I'm going again in through the back, but I'm filling the whole gap. not leaving any gap here, and coming out through the front. These are really small. There. Can you see that? Again, go in through the back and out through the front.
How does this differ from the running stitch in terms of artwork?
Yeah, this is so running stitch leaves a gap, this does not. So this reinforces the whole space. So if you turn it, you can see that this is also stitched, right? So running stitch, on the other hand, you go in and out and in and out, but there is some sort of a gap here and there's a gap there also, right? So really take your time with this. Even if from now to 6 o'clock, we are going to be doing just this, it's absolutely fine. You can plug into your music. You don't have to listen to me. You can just listen to music and you can keep doing. But keep the stitches short, uniform, and neat. And okay, I need to, this was a practice one. Sorry, I need to stop this and actually show you where to stitch. So let me do that. Just threading my needle again. Right. So you can start from either this end of the neck or this end of the neck. I'm starting from this end of the neck. Okay. So all you have to do is start from this end of the neck. I backstitch all the way down, if you can just see my screen, and I come to this one. Again, here there's an opening. So this is how many openings do you have? You should have 5 openings, yeah? So this part we are not going to stitch. This we are not going to stitch. This gap we leave open, and then these 2 gaps also we're going to leave open, because head is going to come in through the neck opening, hands are going to come through here, and feet are going to come through here. So we have these 5 openings. So you're going to start back stitching from this point, go all the way till this point, and then jump straight to this point. I will show you when I come here, I'll show you how to take the needle from here to here. And then again, come all the way down like this. Again, jump straight to this, go all the way up and down, jump all the way here to this arm, again jump, and then all the way here and finish here. So we'll do it step by step. Let me just show you how to start. So you have the needle and thread ready. I'm going to start over here from this point, make a short in and out and pull the thread. Okay. And then I go in through the back and come out through the front. Donita, I hope you are also able to see. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay, perfect. See, again, I'm going in through the back, filling the gap and coming out through the front. So making really small stitches. If you know how to use a sewing machine, you can do this on the machine, but I prefer doing it by hand. But any point you want to take a break, please do feel free. If you can just pause for a moment and see this, please. I have come up to the arm end where the opening is there, right? I'm just going to put one small stitch over here again. Okay, right. So I'm from here, I'm going to jump into this point straight. It's just turning over the cloth and going straight into this point and again making a stitch. So you will basically see the thread like a bridge from here to here, which is fine, right? So just don't pull it too much. It should be straight and it should stay like a bridge there. And again, continue your back stitch all the way till you come to the foot point over here. Then again, you make a bridge from here to here, jump straight in and continue. And that's what we're doing.
A question. So when we are going in through the back and
Yeah,
out through the front,
yeah.
we come out through the front, are we leaving a little space between the thread and where we come out? Or do we come out right next to the thread?
No, we are leaving a space because that space is where you will again fill in when you go in through the back. You understood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'll just do it here and show you. See, I'm going in through the back and I'm coming out through the front. So that space between this thread and the back point and the front is the same. This space is equal to this space, right? I'm coming out, but I'm again going to fill in this space because I'm going in through the back by filling in through the space, right? Again, I come out through the front.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Ma'am, before we jump, do we need to tie the knot?
No, 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 just straight. Yeah, straight from this point to that point. If you tie the knot, basically, then again you have to start here with a new knot and then again you have to, go through. So it's better to just continue from there. Okay, I'm here at a sharp, not a sharp, but like a turning, right? Where the armhole is. So what I typically do is I make really short stitches over there, like very small, but continue back stitch like you're as though you're on a train. Basically, the train of stitches goes along the line, but short ones will help you keep the shape. And another important thing, remember, is to please don't wait till your thread is almost about to finish because then you will not have enough thread to knot. So I'm going to have to change the thread. So if you see, I have about more than my almost like my palm's length, right? Left. So this is a good time to close this because this thread is getting over. So I'm just going to knot this one up. Sorry. Knotting this.
So this is a little new to me. The way you knot the thread,
Huh.
it's basically like a French knot, right?
Yeah, almost, yes. But if you're used to closing another way and that's secure enough, just do it that way. No problem. Only that in a French knot, when you wind around, then you're going back again next to the space. But here
Yeah,
you're pulling the needle out. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the difference. Yeah. And always when you finish knot the thread and it gets over at a point, when I'm starting with a new thread, I start from a little before and reinforce this. I don't just continue from this point because this can be a bit sensitive. So I'm going to reinforce that part, stitch over the same stitches and then continue like that.
I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
So while I was sewing, I got a
Yeah.
little.
Little knot. Are you able to usually when that happens to me, I separate the threads like this. Wait one
Mm.
second. I separate the threads like this and I pull out one by one and somehow it clears up. Just try that.
It's further tightening.
Okay. Then cut it and start with another thread, but start it about 1 centimeter before. So you're reinforcing the last centimeter and you're stitching over that again.
So I'm
Just
letting the knot be in this and I'm
just
cutting ahead of
show
it.
it to me closer, please, Tara. I can't see properly. Yeah, let the knot be there. Just cut the thread and start with another um, thread from a little before. So by tomorrow, before we meet, if you have this stitched and ready, don't cut or do anything. Just do the entire back stitch like how we discussed, jumping through the openings all the way, coming here, again jumping there, and then going there and finishing this end of the neck. And those who want to make the gnome hat for a boy or a girl, all you need to do is just stitch again, back stitch along the inner line that you made here for the hat. All right. So if these two are ready by tomorrow, that will be good. I'm going to stop the recording here, but I'm going to sit here and we're going to stitch together because the stitching instruction is only this for today. Tomorrow, we're going to attach the hands and the head to the body and assemble the whole thing together and see how that comes. And I'll talk about how to accessorize your dolls as well. Yeah. So is there any important question so far?
No.
Okay. So let me stop the recording.